What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We're going to get straight into an unfortunate recap of yesterday. First, for me, one-on-one day. We'll go first into the Cubs' first five, which definitely, was a little bit sweaty, but they did get, that 2-0 win. Ari, I'll let you explain what happened in the full game a little bit. But, the Cubs' first five was definitely a little sweaty. But like I said, we were backing Justin Steele mostly, to just get us through the first five innings. And if you took that first, I even mentioned yesterday I was leaning toward that first five under, and if you took that first five under, that was definitely a lot less of a sweat. Definitely it was a 0-0 ball game heading into the top of the fourth. Then finally the Cubs offense came out of nowhere. They got a couple runs in.
It was
Get a
in
two
the
nothing.
fifth when they.
Oh, that's right, top of the fifth. Yeah, so it was really like that top of the fifth. Last chance for us in the for us to cash a winner. And then obviously we just needed 3 outs from Justin Steele on the other side, and he definitely got those 3 outs there. So that definitely was a sweat-free winner. After those two runs came in for the Cubs, so that was definitely a nice winner to see. The other side, unfortunately, Aaron Nola got rocked. Yeah, it was one of his worst road starts, I'd say, of the season. Did not have any control. Red Sox could hit him all day. It was just a hit parade for the Red Sox. They had 8 hits, I think, through like the first 4 innings. Tacked on I think 8 runs, and I knew as soon as I saw that O'Neill Grant 3-run homer, I was like, okay, yeah, no, it was wraps because Phillies made it interesting. They were down 5-3, for a little bit in that. I think it was in the top of the fourth, and then I think bottom four came, and just the Grant. I think it was he hit it. I was like, yeah, Phillies. I already knew that was a loser there. So that was unfortunate to see. One-on-one day for me. I'll take the Cubs, but unfortunate with the Phillies. Just Aaron Nola got absolutely shelled yesterday. Just a bad read all day. And Ari, I'll let you explain what happened with the Cubs' full game money line,
Yeah,
especially with that shaky bullpen of theirs.
yeah. I mean, we talked about how both bullpens were not good. Good read on your end for the first five, although it came in the fifth inning, but obviously it counts the same whether it's the fifth inning or the first inning. But um, yeah, I mean they were up 2-0 through six, and then I think that was Steele 6 innings. Yeah, 6 innings. And then it was Mark Leither gave up 3 runs. I think two. I think maybe two or all three were with 2 outs. I could be wrong if I'm not mistaken. Because he only pitched he only got the 2 outs before they took him out. I think it was a Yandy Diaz that gave him the lead. That gave the Rays a lead. But yeah, it was tough. Obviously tough. That's how it ended. Was 3-2. All the runs in the entire game were scored in like 2 half innings. It was the 2 runs on top of the fifth, and then the 3 in the bottom of the seventh. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, the thing about the Chicago Cubs bullpen is that sometimes they'll show up and sometimes they'll have performances like that. And, that's just a tough break for you. That's why I always like to stay away from the Cubs bullpen just because, they're, how shaky they can be. You mentioned, Steele had a great 6 innings, no hit, no run ball. And then the bullpen came in and, well, we saw what happened. It was a 2-0 ball game, and then all of a sudden it was a 2-3 ball game because of just some couple I think it was Jake Lowe or Lau. I don't know how to pronounce it. I know it's one of the two. He had an RBI single in the bottom of the seventh, and then a ground out that brought in a run. And then you mentioned, I think a couple outs later, Yandy Diaz with the RBI single. His classic. Just Yandy Diaz and singles. What a great pair. But yeah, that was unfortunate for you. The full game money line, 1-2 day for us. Unfortunate, but we're gonna bounce back today, obviously, and here is Friday, and I'm going to do something a little different here. Today, I'm strictly focusing on the Euros. This is for my footy fans out there. Obviously with baseball, obviously baseball's going to be here for a little while, but today obviously is the start of the Euros, one of the best soccer competitions right now, obviously with Copa America, and I will be having some Copa America picks next week. That starts in about a week, but today I just wanted to focus on the Euros, which that's starting today. First, we're going to go to the first game of the Euros, which starts in about an hour, and we're going to take Germany here -1.5. We're getting them around. I saw them -135 on DraftKings right now, and look, this is the home nation in their great spot here. They're facing a decent Scotland squad, but this is going to be the king in the group, and I think Scotland's going to be a good second. But Germany at home. This is in Munich. I've seen so many crowds for both sides, and I was going to take both teams to score, but I didn't really have to back Scotland because I saw their over, I think half a goal was, in that +110 category. And, that's just kind of giving it a good idea that, maybe Germany keeps a clean sheet as well. I saw both teams to score at, I think no was like -160. I just want to take the home team here. I didn't want to back up. The money line was too juice, so I just wanted to back. I knew they were going to win by 2, so we're back in the -1.5 here. I expect maybe a 2-0. I'm hoping maybe 3-1 potentially game if it does get to that point, but I think it's going to be more of a 2-0 shutout. These earlier games usually just get the feet going. For this Germany squad, there's so many talented guys. We're talking about Fukrung, Tony Cruz, Havertz up front. He's probably going to be getting a lot of playing time as well. So I expect him to probably if one of the goals are for Germany today is probably going to be coming from him. And then, for Scotland, they do have some good guys, as I mentioned, McTominay, McGinn, but I think they're just going to be in for, a little bit too much today, against the Germany squad. This is obviously, first game of the Euros. They're at home, all the crowd is going to be there. I'm just backing the home team to win by 2 here. Home nation winning by 2, in the first game of the Euro. So we're taking Germany here at -1.5. We're getting them at -135 here. And then I have 3 futures. I'll explain all 3 of them individually here. First, we're going to go with the with not the favorite, but a popular choice here. And that's Portugal at +600 here. They've already won it before, so they already know what it takes. And I'm sorry, they have a GOAT in Cristiano Ronaldo. And if he is playing from what I saw the other day with that free kick goal from outside the box, hey, I mean, that man was looking like 2008 Ronaldo. When I was like, oh my goodness, how you not gonna put some money on that? You got to put at least a little bit. I mean, the thing about Portugal is that they have so much talent and they can rotate that front 3 however they want to. So wherever they play Cristiano Ronaldo, I feel as if, even if you have Silva on one side or the other side, I still feel like it's so dangerous. I think this Portugal team obviously is being mentioned as one of the favorites, but not like a France or an England, just because of, not all the talent names that they have. Not a lot of people know them, but I still think, guys like Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Jota, I still think that this Portugal team is just so dangerous. And, they have I'd say they have an easier group, and if they have a great path, say they face, say they face like a Ukraine or someone, or just if they have a great path to the final, who says no? So I think, and, we always talk about how, in these big time matches, you need your veterans to step up. Well, I'm sorry, but I think Cristiano Ronaldo has stepped up a lot in his time, representing his country or his club. So I'm going to take Portugal here. It's not the favorite, but it's a really popular choice here at +600. And then we're going to go to one of the favorites here, and that's France. I got it at +390. I think I've seen it all the way, I think +350 to about +390 here. That's the best value I got it at +390. This is the favorite, one of the favorites here. And I'm mostly backing the fact that this French team is just so good when you look at how from top to bottom, yes, there are a couple questions in terms of how they're going to play everyone. But when you have guys like Griezmann, of course, Kylian Mbappe, Giroud, who has so much experience, even though he's not probably going to get a lot of playing time, just the fact that he has all that experience. Tchouaméni, I can go on and on with this French squad and how talented they are, whether it's guys in, the Prem, La Liga, or wherever, or Serie A, or wherever they're playing. This French team, I just feel like, when we look back at the 2020 Euros, we feel like this French team was still kind of getting themselves together. And we saw how they performed in the World Cup back a couple years ago. And obviously they almost won the whole damn thing. And I feel as if this is that redemption arc for them, that they didn't win the World Cup, but I feel like they kind of have to go at it for the Euros, to be, because, they were pretty much the best. They were the best European team at the World Cup. I feel as if why not back them in the spot here and back them to win the Euros and be the best European team. And so I feel like at plus 390 is kind of safe value. I've seen a lot of people say England. I even saw Book It with Trent just say that he's taking England, and that put a big smile on my face because Harry Kane and trophies are it's like oil and water. Those two things just don't get along. And you can place your England bets. It's coming home and all that stuff, but I just feel like if when potentially, because I have it in my bracket, when England has to meet that French team, we've seen how we've seen how that's gone twice before. We saw it in the World Cup. We've seen it in the Euro. We've seen it many times. France is going to get the edge, and I feel like them at plus 390 because everyone's talking about England. Not that people are talking about France, but not as much as England. So I'm taking France here at plus 390 as the favorite. And then one of my dark horses, a team that obviously is probably going to finish second in their group just because of they're going to be behind the team I just talked about, but who I think has a great chance to have a dark horse run, kind of like a Ukraine or something. I like the Netherlands here at plus 1,800, and the value here is more of the reason of why I'm placing some money on it. Just not more of the fact that they're not a favorite, just the fact that not a lot of people are talking about them, but they have a very dangerous squad. They have a great back line with Virgil van Dijk and oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. It's gonna kill me later. But Van Dijk leads that back squad. They have a great attack. One of the questions is going to be goals and how they're going to be contributing goals. Obviously, Memphis Depay is going to be leading that charge. We've seen some flashes of Frimpong out of Leverkusen, but I really think that this Netherlands team is definitely going to be slept on. They're kind of like a Portugal. Obviously, they're probably going to finish second in the group because they're in the same group as France, which is so tough. And I would put value on them to win the group, but I just don't see France dropping any kind of points anytime soon, especially against Netherlands. I probably would see that game as like a 0-0, maybe to France potentially 1-0, but I don't want to have to bet on Netherlands to win the group. I'd rather have, if they can make it out and finish second, probably. And they at least just don't finish last. If they don't finish last and they do just enough to finish at least third or second, and if they have a great path, I think there is great value for this team later with their veterans, like guys like Van Dijk in them, to really set the tone and actually have a go on a great run here. And the only reason is it's just because of the value here. I was going to pick Belgium, but that front line scares me, and I don't really want to back Lukaku, to really lead the charge as well. And, Courtois and his injury troubles, I'm going to stay away from Belgium. And then and then I was also looking at Italy, but you're asking Italy to do it again, and they're looking like a younger, different squad than what they were back in 2020 when they were one of the favorites to win the Euros, and they won the Euros. So I'm going to take Netherlands here at this plus 1,800. It's a little bit of a dark horse pick here, but I'm more backing the fact that if and when they make it out of their group, finishing probably second, I think if they have a great path to potentially going, far in this tournament. I think there's some great value there, and it's the Euros, so anything could happen there. And I've seen some great late strike winners from Depay in this time, and obviously Frimpong and Leverkusen. Those don't get me started with Leverkusen, but Bayer Leverkusen. Don't get me started with them. But I'm just taking the Netherlands here at plus 1,800. I think it's great value here. We're more backing the fact that, it's 1,800. They're not going to finish first, but if they have a good path, I think there is good value there. So that's all my Euro talk. Obviously, I have Copa America next week. For all the baseball fans out there, I know I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to take a break today. I just got to talk about the Euros. This is obviously, a once in a 4-year event, kind of like the Olympics and the World Cup. Obviously, Copa America, the same thing that starts in about a week. And, obviously with the first game starting in less than an hour, I wanted to get these picks out to you guys. So hopefully, we can have some winners here with these futures, and obviously kick it off with Germany -1.5 here today and -135 on DraftKings. Ari, I've stopped all my footy talk. What have you cooked up? I know we got game 4 of the NBA Finals today, along with a great baseball slate. What have you cooked up for this Friday?
Yeah, just 2 MLB plays for me today. Obviously I'm hoping Dallas can extend the series so it's not over already, but I'm not betting on them. Just 2 MLB plays. First, we'll start off with the Padres. Starting off with the series against the Mets, we have Matt Waldron, the knuckleball pitcher, going up against Sean Manaea, and it's basically even money, minus 112. Um, I'm basically just fading Manaea. My only concern is a low total at 7.5. So that's kind of show you that maybe they think the books think Manaea's going to pitch well, but even if he pitches pretty well, I still think Waldron can do enough to pitch better, and I trust the Padres bats more. I think the Mets won the series over the Marlins, so they got the walk off yesterday, but they were 1 inning away from losing a series at home to the Marlins before I think it was JD Martinez hit the walk off last night. Padres still inconsistent, but they've found some rhythm as of late, especially offensively as of late. And Waldron's pitched really well he's given 1 run last 2 starts, 0 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 2 runs. Obviously, at some point, he's going to, cough up and have a bad start, but I don't think it's going to come against the Mets lineup, Mets offense with the state that their team is in right now. I think Edwin Diaz should be activated from the IL, so we'll get him back. But even still, their bullpen's still kind of in shambles. The Mets bullpen not doing very well. So I'm just taking the Padres over the Mets tonight. And then 1 plus money play, Guardians heading to, I believe they're on the road in Toronto. They are on the road. I know Gosman's at home. And for whatever reason, Gosman has been the best pitcher in the world on the road, and at home he's been the worst pitcher in the world. He has a ERA of under 2, 1.86 on the road, and at home his ERA is almost at 7. The Guardians hit lefties pretty well as well. Or I guess they have the lefties with Kwan. They have the lefty bats is what I meant with Kwan, Ramirez, Naylor, and then Logan Allen, who's gone for Cleveland. I'm not huge on, but right now the Blue Jays lineup other than Guerrero, I'm not super worried about anybody in the Blue Jays lineup right now with how bad they've been. So and the Guardians have just been the better team, other than Toronto. So I'm just taking the better team here, better bullpen, not better starting pitcher, but like I said, Gosman's been terrible at home this year. I think the Guardians match up well with him, and I'm not huge on Logan Allen, but the Blue Jays aren't a lap I'm worried about really against anybody doing big damage against at this point. Those are my 2 plays: Padres ML over the Mets, and then Guardians a little plus money over the Blue Jays for tonight.
Ari, it's crazy because I did look at the MLB slate, and those 2 teams are the 2 teams that I was actually liking today. Padres, you mentioned, I was looking at that matchup. Matt Waldron's on the mound for the Padres. Padres, even though it's Sean Manaea, I'm more back in Matt Waldron because the Mets can't hit righties. They're better against lefties. For once, and Matt Waldron has a nasty knuckleball. I don't know if anyone's been noticing, but he has a nasty knuckleball. And then you mentioned the Guardians. I actually am on their first 5. You kind of a similar play. First 5, you got the full game once again. It's weird. You mentioned Kevin Gosman. It's kind of like Aaron Nola. He's bad at home, but he's good on the road. And obviously, I love this Guardians lineup right now. They are seeing everything and hitting the ball really well. And you're asking, even though it's Logan Allen on the mound for the Guardians, the Blue Jays bats are, got here one day, gone the next day. You never know which Toronto team you're going to get. So I would back the consistent bats here, and so I love the Guardians pick for you. The full game as well with the Guardians having the better bullpen right now and the better bullpen edge. I love those 2 picks for you today. Obviously, going with all of my Euro picks as well with all of that. Obviously, you can find all of these picks down below on our Twitter, AKP Sports Talk. We will have our full card, my future picks for the Euros, along with today's card and Ari's picks down below. We will have that posted momentarily. But that's going to do it for this episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We hope that we have some basketball games to cover soon because we don't want a Celtics sweep tonight. Obviously, as Ari mentioned, Game 4 of the NBA Finals tonight. Hopefully, the Mavericks can salvage one game to force a Game 5 and make it a little bit interesting. Or we'll see back-to-back sweeps in the NBA Finals. Oh boy! But that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Win some money.